everyone. Happy Labor Day. I hope traders and investors alike will be green tomorrow. A lot going on. So this week, we don't have a lot of data coming in, but we do have the Fed speakers on Wednesday. Powell speaks 9:10 Thursday morning, and then Evans also speaks twice. Evans speaks after him and then speaks again on Friday. As for earnings, Neo and GameStop report Wednesday after, or I'm sorry, yes, Wednesday after, or Wednesday. I believe one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. And I just want to throw this out there real quick. Here at Trend Catalyst Traders, we will teach you how to find and trade the hottest stocks daily. Not only with options, we're going to teach you the hottest option strategy so you can make the most with your money. Not into passive income. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with passive income, but the strategies that I use, I will teach you how to make the most money with your money. When it comes to the small caps, I will teach you how to find the hottest small caps and make the most with your money. Trading the hottest small caps and small cap runners. And we also give you the resources to find these. We also give you the resources to learn to trade. So let's just get to the charts. We have a lot going on with some crude and natural gas. We'll talk about it as we get to the charts. AMC, as long as we respect this 9, I'm bearish. As long as we stay below this 9 is going to apply pressure and push us down. You can see the momentum is slowing down here. You can see your MACD is trying to level out. Histogram bars are fading. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this try to push up. But overall, as long as it's below that 9, I'm bearish on it. The put to call ratio, we are 113. That is bearish. This is the oscillator chart. It's the same chart. I just changed it to a histogram chart instead of a bar chart. It's the same exact chart. I did this for visual effects. So you can see the NASDAQ is at 343 or 342, severely oversold here. The New York Stock Exchange, we're at 305, and you can see the New York Stock Exchange has not been this oversold since COVID. Can we go lower? Yes. Expecting a rough week, probably a lot of chop this week. Hopefully we can, would love to see it push up to cool them off, but hopefully we can get them cooled off and probably going to see some chop with all the Powell speaking and everything this week. It's probably going to be another rough week. Still plenty of opportunities and plenty of money to be made. The S&P 500, we're losing our MACD here. This is the weekly chart. We're below all our major moving averages. US dollar, still bullish on that. The VIX is actually down today. My charts are not tracking today with stock charts or taking a day off, holiday, but the VIX does trade. It trades with the futures market, and the VIX is actually down a little bit right now, or was last time I checked. Crude, OPEC is going to slow down their production of 100 to knocking back 100,000 barrels a day. The countries that are united behind Ukraine, or like the U.S., are trying to bring crude down, so it takes some money out of Russia's pocket. There's a whole nother set of sanctions getting ready to kick in. So crude's actually up. We're not showing it here, but crude's actually up right now due to that OPEC news. So any push we get on crude, it's probably just going to be short term. Apple has an event on Wednesday. I do believe it's just a new phone that they're going to be talking about. But let's keep in mind, they front run these events, and as soon as the event starts, they start to sell. So make your money, and then when the event starts, make your money on the other side. Normally they front run and they sell it off, and the stock could, maybe it doesn't move. It's no guarantee that it's even going to move at all. AMD, we were watching this descending channel here, and we broke below that. We got below the 50. We definitely got that move. We were bearish on the semis last week. AMD weekly chart, you can see we're below all the major moving averages, but we have come down to a previous level of support here. So let's keep an eye out for that. We are losing our MACD on the weekly chart as well. Affirm, we talked about how this was kind of head and shoulders, and we were expecting downside. It broke down below the 50 with our last video, or last Sunday's video, and we pretty much kind of traded sideways a little to the downside, waiting on this 9 to catch up. The MACD's holding. a firm 15-minute chart, you can see it's been kind of chopping sideways, and we see that on the daily. Amazon had some news that I posted to the Discord and to Twitter. I don't know if that's going to move the stock or not, but you can see Friday it had a good day, pushed up, and then it snatched back. Amazon was strong. We've been tracking Amazon quite a bit, and we were on that up move and back down on the down move. You can see Amazon's weekly here. We are now below most of our major moving averages. We still have looks like the 20 here that we need to take out to the downside. That could act as support. CAMC has been trading pretty sideways here. We can see that on the daily chart, drifting down, but for the most part, just kind of trading sideways. AMD here, you can see we had this big push down, had a big sell on Thursday. We did try to recover that and sold again on Friday. We've been bearish on the semis for the most part of the year. Amazon, this is an inverted cup and handle, looking for a gap fill. There's still a little bit of gap to fill down here, not much. We did get most of it filled. We're back at support here. I'm looking for a break below the 50 now. If we can get below this 50, I will remain bearish on it. But we have to get below the 50. That 50 can act as support. Flagged back into the 9. So if you see this, I like this. It's not extended. Was able to pull back, push back into the 9. So we're not so far extended on that one. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Some of these names are really extended to the downside. So you can see Apple here, nice, for the better part of the week it's been selling. We did get some recovery on Thursday afternoon, pushed Friday morning. A lot of the market tried to push up and then sold heavy. We were kind of thinking that the market would sell if we got good job news, and that's exactly what happened. Sad, but that's what happened. So we also have, this is Apple's weekly chart. We called that candle out there. We pointed that candle out. You can go back and look in the videos. We pointed that candle out and said that was a bearish reversal signal, and it's exactly what's happened. We need to watch this 200 on the, we need to watch the 20 on the weekly chart for support. ANET got this rounded top up here, come down, and we had this deep candle, push back up, kind of flag back up, expecting another move down. Watch the 50 for support there. See these rounded tops like this. Boeing, the top starting to round on that. We have now broken below the 50 here. Boeing has been getting a lot of news with this one lately, so be careful with this one if you're trying to swing it or anything like that. It can always have some news come in, push it up real quick, but overall, as long as we remain below this 50, I believe we will see more downside. We're below the 50, and we're below a level of support as well. Bitcoin weekly chart, just rough here. We're right back down here to support. Crypto market's not looking good. We're still able to come in here and make some money on some trades, fast trades, not trying to stay in them very long. This is Bitcoin's daily chart. The 9's bearing down on it now. It's not looking good for Bitcoin, to be honest. BNY, you can see we had this big sell here. Then it ended up recovering for the most part of last week. We pushed right up into the 50 and the 9 and then pulled back. So look at this like a big sell-off, bear flagging back up into your 9. MACD's wanting to pinch and roll over, looking for downside here. Flagged right into your 9, looking for downside here. A lot of charts, so I can only spend so much time on each one. Boeing, the last few days, you can see Thursday, big sell-off, recovered a little bit. Pushed on Friday. We had this on our radar. Then it ended up selling. It gives some nice opportunities there on the downside and on the upside as well. Berkshire, you have an inverted head and shoulders here. This candle here, you can see come back and tried to retest, and now it's pulling down. Has closed below the previous candles. Let's look there for some more short action. Chewy, this is just too far extended for me to mess with right now, but we called this with the rounded top. Got more of a move than what we were expecting. Last week we talked about getting below this 50, and that's exactly what happened. We've remained below the 50. CTVA, it's an energy name. You can also see a double top here. So we're looking at a rounded top. You can see last time we had a rounded top, we had a sell. Also, it's a kind of a double top. Now, obviously, a double top is not a true double top until it breaks the neckline, which would be down here. So we're looking at a rounded top. We're looking for a short side down with crude pushing. Anything can happen there. We definitely need to be careful. CVX, definitely one to watch if crude does push this week. I'm only expecting a short-term crude push. The way the countries are leaning on crude that are standing behind Ukraine are leaning on crude. Energy names, they really need to separate from crude for them to do a whole lot. You can see CVX here just chopped around, just a big chop on Friday. DraftKings, we were watching this downtrend here. Last week we talked about how we were below all the major moving averages and waiting on the 9 to catch up. It's exactly what happened there. So what am I looking for now on this chart? It's kind of in a rough spot right now because this 50 is going to act as support. I don't like it when it's wedged in between two moving averages. I don't have a whole lot of room to move. So for me, I would rather be patient, wait for it to get below the 50 or take the 9 back out and push up. DUK, Duke Energy, bear flag in here below the 59 coming down on it. EQR. This is an inverted head and shoulders. This has broke down and flagged back up, looking for a move down here. And, the realty sector is getting beat on. We got a head and shoulders on that. That played out great last week as well. You can see the downtrend here Thursday and ExxonMobil, and then we pushed up Friday, chopped around, did take the 200 out, and then was pulled back below the 200 on the 15. Ford Motor Company. I like Ford. I'm a Ford man, but as for a Ford right now, you almost got shoulder, head, shoulder. Either way, it's holding in well in this market, but if we lose this support, look for downside. If we lose this support, I think Ford will come back down to the 50. In this market, it's hard to tell. As long as it's holding that support, I'll try to remain bullish on it. But if it loses that support, look for a move down to the 50. FUTU had a good earnings, flagging here, waiting on the 9 to catch up. It's a Chinese name, and it's took a nice move, holding well, waiting on the 9 to catch up. This good chances can see some upside. I'd like to see it up above. I feel better up above all this area to move. If we get a break here, look for a move up to, draw a line there, look for a move up to there. If we take that out, I would expect to see a bigger move. This is the weekly chart for FUTU, back above all your major moving averages last week and closed over, confirmed over it. A GME earnings on Wednesday, just a steady big downtrend here. This thing needs to catch back up with the 9. I'm scared to even try the open puts on that right now. GE, we talked about this bear flag last week, and we got that sell. Bear flag working great. Got the sell. So right now we are below the support area. Looks like we've actually got below it, come back and retested the support. It's waiting on the 9. Watch your 50 for support there on your daily. Google, we've been bearish on due to a big options flow order that come in. So I did a video on this, ended up getting this push up here after that though, and then we called this rounded top, and we've got a nice move down, broke below the 50 last week and kind of chopping sideways, waiting for the 9 to catch up. Now the 9 has caught up, expecting more downside. I would expect it to come down and retest this support level. Home Depot, Home Depot sold, come back up, flagged into the 9. You got a nice bear flag right there into your 9 and your 50. QQQ, we called this perfectly last week, head and shoulders. We called, 296-ish. 295 was the number. So I stayed on the 296, just trying not to get anybody's hopes up. I always stay a little on the short side, but we come down, tested the exact area we were looking for. QQQ15, you can see the recovery. Friday, we tried to push up. Looks like a big old tower top there, and just sold after that. I thought we were going to push. Normally on these holiday, we come into a holiday, normally we have a bullish grind up day. No matter what's going on, normally we have a bullish grind up day. And they sold the market on those good job numbers, which is exactly what we talked about Thursday night, that we thought if there was good numbers that they would sell. We thought the market was looking for bad news, and that's exactly what they were looking for. The Q's back below on your weekly, back below all your major moving averages. TLT bonds. This is the 20-year. You can see we pushed back up. It's been in a bearish state here. Pushed back up, flagged into your 9 moving average. Gap down on Thursday and Friday. So has a gap to fill to the upside. The IWM, you can see right into the 50. This is the same area we were looking for on the weekly. We were looking for resistance on everything at the 50s on the weekly, and that's exactly what we got. The 200s on the daily. The IWM was able to take the 200 out on the daily, but could not take that 50 out on the weekly. But those were the levels we were looking for in the whole market. For a level, a huge level, we hit those levels and we pulled back. So those calls, sometimes I want to be bullish on the market, but the technical analysis, that's what counts. I try to leave my opinion out of the trading room when I come in, and we play by technicals. You can see the IWM here tested its 200 on the 15, and then sold on Friday. JXN. Watching this here for a gap fill, you can see it kind of tested it, pushed back off, flagged into the 9. I'd watch the 50. If we get into this gap, watch this 50, the other side of this gap for support, and watch for a bounce. If we get into this bounce, or if we get into that gap, watch for the gap to be filled. Live Nation, got this rounded top here below the support level, below the 50. You can see we come down, push back up, tested. So you got your retest. A lot of times, we talk about this all the time. When you take out a level, you come back and retest it, or you get a pullback towards a level. You don't always get the exact retest. In this case, you got the retest. LNG, natural gas. Russia's playing games right now. Natural gas was actually down a little bit when I checked, but let's keep an eye on LNG, TEL, UNG, Southwest Airlines. It's in this downtrend here. You can see we pushed down, put in this little shakeout candle, come back up to retest, kind of flagging back up into the 9. I would expect if the market does pull back, if we have an overall market pullback like we are continuing, like we're having, and we continue to have, I would expect this to see some more downside. It's exactly what I'm looking for. A lot of these are so far extended from the 9. This is the type of play I'm looking for. I actually posted it in Discord that I was trying to find some plays that wasn't so far extended. Lyft, you can see a huge difference between Lyft and Uber. We'll look at Uber's chart in a minute. This gap is filled. I don't really know what to say here. It's been kind of trading sideways. This 9's coming down, expecting more downside due to the 9 putting pressure on it. That 9's going to act like an anchor and push it down unless we have, I think we're going to need an overall, market change. And I don't mean, all new highs. I mean, if the market bounces, a lot of this stuff's going to bounce with it. I just don't see a whole lot to be bullish about right now. All right, so you got Marriott, you got a rounded top here as well. We come down, tested this 50, pushed back up, right back into the 9. We have the support levels. If you're interested in playing this, you need to watch this support level and you need to watch this 50. I'm more interested into it below these levels. Just not enough room there to move to make money. Mara, we got a nice push out of that. We called for that. Coming down, just a little bear flag last week. We broke down below, come down, tested the 50. I'm looking to get below the 50 and the support level before I'm interested in puts at this point. Want to be below that support. Meta, this is Meta's weekly. Down here below the 9. Meta's just not looking good. We talked about last week, I would expect new lows in this. If we can take this level out, I'm still expecting new lows into it. Tried to push up a little bit and right back down below the major moving averages. Watch for your 9 there, or I'm sorry, watch for this support level there. If we take that out, look for new lows. If it gets below this, it's going to have a hard time getting back up above it. This area has been tested and respected, so if we get below it, it's going to have a struggle to get back above it. You can see Meta here had this crazy push in pre-market. It was actually on that Friday. I seen this push, and it sold big time, recovered, and sold. Wasn't even as strong as the rest of the market. You know, it did push in pre-market, but it wasn't as strong when market opened. It just just sold. Not a very healthy move there. MU, you can see the rounded top here. We come back, tried to push up Friday and end up closing back below all the major moving averages, but we have this rounded top, so expecting more downside. Can possibly see it if the market stays like it is. We can come down and probably retest. You know, I would look for a retest of this area. It's definitely not getting beat on like some of these other semis, and it's probably one of the ones that should be getting beat on after guiding down. Poor AMD gets beat on for everything. Every time news comes out, AMD is the one that's getting beat on. You got Microsoft here. We had this rounded top we talked about. We also talked about how this looked like a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. You know, we were looking to get below this 50. We opened up last week below that 50, and we've seen nothing but down. So we've got exactly what we were looking for out of all these moves. Last week, you know, everybody watching these videos should be making money. If you're struggling and you need help, then let's, ask some questions. Facebook group, Discord. Let's get you making money. If you're struggling, watching these videos, we're putting out a lot of plays that are working, a lot of patterns that are working. You can see Microsoft here. We pushed on Friday, chopped around and sold. You can see that looks like a tower top there. Tower top-ish. It's not perfect. You can see Microsoft, we pushed right into the 50. Once again, the 50 is what we were calling for. Now we are below all the major moving averages. MRK, Merck, bear flagging back up into the 9 here. Let that 9 catch up and possibly push price action down. That's what we're expecting there. Anytime we got a bear flag, we're flagging back up into the moving average, and the moving average is going to, we're looking for the moving average to push us down. I'm looking to break out of this pattern before I'm willing to go short. Draw your lines. MACD looks good on that one. For the downside, it looks good. Let's go back. So see how it's pinching like that? It looks good for a move down. MRO, we pushed up, come back, retested this level, trying to push up, needs to get back above the 9. Watch this MACD. It looks like it's possibly trying to pinch. If it pushes tomorrow, it may pinch this MACD. If we don't push tomorrow with it, I'm going to expect that MACD to start rolling. That MACD starts rolling, we're going to be looking for downside. This is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ itself, you can almost, we just looked at the Qs. You can see the head or shoulder, head, shoulder. The Qs follows the NASDAQ or is like the top 100 of the NASDAQ. Watching the 50 here is resistance. The 9's coming down. It's not as extended as I was thinking. Netflix almost looks like a shoulder, head, shoulder. It's been trading sideways. It's actually holding in a lot better than a lot of these other names right now. Worth keeping an eye on. To me, I need to see a breakout of that area. It's just trading too tight in there. EDU, this is a Chinese stock, one of the few that we were bullish on. We end up pushing up, come back retesting this level and pushing up. We've lost a 9 here. Trying to lose this MACD here. Keep an eye on this. This may be trying to fall apart. Nike, we were bearish on Nike last week. It's pretty much just traded sideways, to be honest. We got this break below the 50 and it's traded sideways. The 9's coming up now. 9's going to be pushing us down, so we're expecting more downside. If we see overall market pullback like last week, expect more downside. This is NEO coming into earnings on Wednesday, trading in this little descending channel here, testing the support heavy. It's feeling really heavy here. It wants to break out and move down. Your MACD's been trading pretty sideways, and now it's starting to open and wants to roll down. If we lose that channel, let's watch it for downside. NUE, once again, rounded top here. we have the 250 down here, act as support. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that 50 and 200 for support. On the video, I don't know what to say. We had this double top here. I actually called it double top. Obviously, I said it had to be confirmed, but this was put on here before we actually confirmed it. This pullback below the 50. On last week's video, last Sunday's video, we talked about how this was below the 50, and then the next 5 days, which was last week, we had a little bit of government help on that one, but I think we would have made our target anyway. NVIDIA's weekly chart, you can see we're below all the major moving averages except for the 200 down here. We're below the support level as well. The Bollinger Bands were extended outside of the Bollinger Bands here, but they are pinching. I would expect a move back up to get us back in the Bollinger Bands and then a move down. Losing your weekly MACD as well. RSI is coming down as well, not showing any relative strength there. Oxy here, kind of downtrended on Friday. Apparently, Buffett says he's not interested in buying the company or taking the company over. We've heard that, and he keeps buying more, so we'll see. Time will tell. Oxy has lost a 9 here, respecting the 20 right now. See how it acts on that 20. Losing her MACD there as well. Palantir, everybody in the Facebook should have made money on this. Not only we bearish with a bear flag last week. There's our bear flag. The next, candle, we actually had the bear flag and the break below. We tested and pulled back. There's your next 5 days. We actually posted an article to the Facebook group giving reasons that bearish on the stock. Palantir 15-minute, you can see Thursday, big pullback, tried to recover, chopped like the rest of the market right into your 15, your 200 on your 15, and that's where it lost it. And pre-market, it tried to push, market open, it pulled back. PDD, another Chinese stock. This one's up above these levels here. This level of support was resistance. Now it's support, waiting on the 9 to catch up. Looks good as long as it'll hold that support level and wait on that 9 for a push up. PTO and Pendleton. So I have this candle pattern. It's called the falling 3. Now this is the falling 2. I've made money. I know it's not the falling 3, but I call this the falling 2. I've made money with this pattern, even missing a candle. Matter of fact, that was the pullback we've had on Cliff. Was that exact pattern when we caught that pullback. PFE, bear flagging back into your 9. I need to see it break out of this pattern. Draw this pattern. I need to see it get outside of this pattern before I will open puts on it. Got a nice bearish MACD there as well. Philip Morris, we had this this head and shoulders, did not get the big pullback. We got a nice pullback, but we did not get the measured move. Once again, we have a head and shoulders topping pattern, bear flagging already, which that's what a head and shoulders pattern is. It's basically built up of flags. When they break out, you expect it to pull down, flag, pull down, flag, pull down, flag. Just kind of stair steps down. We've already got the pattern. We've already got the first flag, the break below. There's a good chance if this market holds, MACD's turning, if this market keeps trading like it is, there's a good chance we will get that move down to around 91. Plug, you got to be careful with this one. These solar names are still hot. Some of these alternative fuels are starting to fall apart. Kind of got an M pattern here. Break below this support here. I'm looking for downside. Watch the 200, 50's coming up, but watch this 200 for support. If we lose this level right here, look for a move down. Real estate sector, we talked about this last week. We had this head and shoulders pattern, and we tested the 50 on, tested the 50 on Monday, broke below it on Tuesday, and had a nice move down. A lot of these patterns were working and paying the bills last week, guys. Should have been a lot of people making money. I know the Discord was making money, and you don't have to be in a Discord to make money. If you need help learning to trade, or you need help trading this stuff, then Discord's where you want to be. But there's we're getting a lot of moves out of these videos. Got RBLX, Roblex. This is now below the 50. We were looking for that. last Sunday's video, we had got this move below the 50 already. So we come down, pushed it right up, it flagged right into the 9 right there and pulling back. Watch this support level here. This is a previous level that was drawn for some reason. So it will act as a good chance. You can see we've already tested it and tried pushing up. Would feel better going short or opening puts. I don't short anything. Would feel better opening puts below this level. Or if you do open before we get to this level, just realize that it's there. Look to take profits there if needed. The SPX daily, this is a big spot here. So we lost a 50. This is the spot that I was talking about last week that, kind of the area we broke out of when we got real bullish. We're retesting this area already. If we lose this area, we will see more downside. Probably going to lose it this week, to be honest. CRM, you can see this thing's just been on a downfall. Just nothing good happening there. Nothing good. 15-minute chart. SARC, we talked about this last week. So we've had a nice push up. This is the ETF, the inverse ETF, the bearish ETF that trades with ARK. It's innovation ETF. ARK goes up. This comes down. ARK goes down. This goes up. Had this nice push up, flagged over to the 9. It's been pushing up. Decent looking MACD. That's one to keep an eye on there. STSA, I thought I took this chart out. We got a nice push up here. There's a little small cap coal stock that I think is breaking out again too. AERC, I think is what it is. I don't think I added it here. I meant to, but I don't think I put it in here. Snow had a good earnings, and it's selling on it. If we lose this 20, I would expect to see more downside. Watch this 20. We could see a bounce, but we're losing the MACD. If the overall market continues to trade like it is, I'm expecting more downside. SoFi, I don't know what to say here. Expecting new lows, or expecting not new lows. I'm sorry, expecting a retest at this level. We got a head and shoulders here, or just respecting this downtrend, flag back up into that downtrend and pull back. We talked about we can look at this either way, head and shoulders, or just respecting the downtrend. Pushing up into the downtrend, lost it, but we got a nice move there. The 9's on its way. As long as we're below this 9, I would love to see some of this stuff go up and touch this 9 and come down. We may not get that. The diamond, the Dow Jones. So this pushed up. We took this downtrend out, took the 200 out, and pulled back. Last week we were looking for a break below the 50, and then we would go short. SPY, this is the SPY weekly chart. You can see we pushed up to the 50. That's exactly what we were looking for the resistance level. We were hoping to take it out. That did not happen. Ever since then, the last 2.5, 3 weeks, we've been pulling back. We're back below all the major moving averages now. All right, SPY monthly chart. You can see we pulled back for July, August. So far, we're trying to hold this support level. SPY daily chart, pull back into the support level, push back up to the 50. So we've lost the 50. We retested the 50 on Friday morning, and we've pulled back down to the support level. This 392 level is a big area to watch. Looking for the same level on the S&P 500. We tested it same level twice right here. I know it's a different number, but it's the same level we just talked about. If we lose that, I would expect more downside in the market. I'm expecting another rough week with all the Feds talking. They're going to come out and they're going to be hawkish. You can see the SPY 15-minute here. We pushed up, put in this little tower topish here, and then rip back. This is our trend chart. I changed this chart up as well. Normally we're looking for at the weekly chart, so I changed this to the daily chart. Still have the weekly chart. I just took it off and added this one. So you can see when we just pushed up, we turned our trends bullish, and now our long-term trend, This is our long-term trend. We're losing that. We've already lost our medium term, and our short term's already bearish, getting ready to turn bearish. Square, we talked about this last week. We had this head and shoulders topping pattern again. Closed below the 50, and then, for the last Sunday's video, we closed below the 50. We end up pushing up for a nice bear flag. It's exactly what head and shoulders patterns do, is they pull back, flag, pull back, flag, pull back, flag. I would expect more downside. I would expect to move back down to this support level. XLK, inverted head and shoulders here. We broke below the 50, got the move we were looking for there as well. Nice bearish MACD on that. Tesla is trying to hold in here, but it has now, it's starting to lose the moving averages. Looks like we're still holding the 20 here. We lose this 20. I would expect more downside. That's acting as support. This MACD on the weekly is trying to roll. And Tesla on the daily, it wants to get below this 50. This 50 is kind of like the last thing standing, trying to hold this thing up. We get below the 50, look for this gap to fill down here. Twitter, this is not textbook. You got a head and shoulders here below all your major moving averages, expecting a move down. Anything can happen with this at any time with the court case and all that. And Mr. Musk got this inverted cup and handle here on Uber, and this is actually trading very well. It's trading sideways, showing a lot of relative strength in this market, the way everything else has been pulling back, holding in a lot better than Lyft. You can see UNG, big pullback on Friday. Like I say, we keep an eye on these LNG names, these natural gas names. You can see we're starting to lose. Actually, we did lose the 20 here. If we can't reclaim this 20, look for a move back, move down to the 50. But keep an eye on all the drama going on with Russia right now, because there's some stuff going on with natural gas that natural gas could push on that. Unity, it's kind of in this downtrend here in between this 9 and support level. We get below the support level looking for more downside. It's not that far extended from the 9. Upstart, watch the support level here. I would expect new lows on this one as well. You got barely any reaction at all on this one. The whole market was pushing up. Upstart just did not respond. Just not good. You can see this is one choppy name to try to trade. This is intraday 15-minute chart. This thing is all over the place. Can make money with it though. Wells Fargo, this is the weekly chart for Wells Fargo, pushed up in the support level. We're pulling back, still holding your 9 and 20 there for support on the weekly. You can see Wells Fargo here, big push on Friday. The banks ripped. We were on them. They made a nice move, but they rolled over with the rest of the market. They made a stronger move than the rest of the market. Thought we were getting ready to run Friday morning. XLF, this is the financial sector. So we did push back up. We have now closed back below this 50. It's looking like more downside. I need to get the MACD turned on that one. ExxonMobil tested this 50, tried to push up. This 9's resistance. Tested the 20 and pushed back up. Your 9 is resistance up here, your 20 support. MACD's trying to cross. Not the healthiest bearish MACD yet, so I would be careful trying to short that name, especially with the energy thing going on, or the crude thing going on with OPEC, because crude is up a little bit now, or was when I checked it. And that concludes our video for today. I hope this is helpful. I do apologize having to rush through. Just a lot of charts to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. And I hope everybody has a great night. I will see you in the trading room. Let's make some money, guys. Let's be patient, be disciplined. Let's get that bread. Have a good night, everyone. See you in the trading room.